Good evening, good people, and welcome to week one of the Duck Boot Camp. I am Saracen, joined by Luffy DV, my partner in legitimate business. Luffy, how you doing?
I am wonderful. Welcome, like Saracen said, week one Duck Boot Camp. This is one of my favorite times of year. I'm ready to get going, show the new players how to play, teach them how to win, hopefully be competitive. This is a fun time.
Absolutely. So, the boot camp, if you are joining us for the first time, this is where we teach all the new players who want to learn how to play the randomizer, maybe pick up into the competitive scene and do some racing. Whatever you want to learn how to do in the randomizer, we're going to try to cover it all here. Now, not all. There's like 500 some flags in the randomizer.
We only got 6 weeks.
But what we do plan to do is cover enough basics that you can pick up whatever you want to from there.
Yes.
And so we're going to be covering some basic mechanics, some randomizer understanding, how logic works, how all sorts of different elements work within the randomizer, so that if there's something that's new and interesting and you want to try it out, you'll have the tool set to do that.
Yeah, you're going to hear a lot of phrases over the next couple weeks, maybe like pathing, routing, damage tiles, off encounters, just a whole bunch of stuff that's going to like sound really weird at first, but like it'll make sense when we kind of keep talking about it. And there's some things like we'll show you some of the finer points too, that some really important things to remember. When to take levels, how to make decisions about, what gear works for you, when to stop opening boxes. Like, it's just a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of different things we're going to cover, but enough to digest and make it so you'll be able, like Saracen said, to pick up the game and play and hopefully really enjoy it like we do.
Absolutely. So this week, we want to start with our very basics. And so this week is Fighter Week. Now, the fighter is our durable, very reliable melee. The idea with the fighter is that you can pick up your gear along the way, you can just take fights as you go, and when you get to the Temple of Fiends Revisited, Topher as we call it, the final dungeon, you will just kind of be ready, ideally. Now, that doesn't 100% work out, but we're going to show off what that looks like and how we get from the start of a seed to the end of the seed with the fighter, and all of the decisions that go along with that.
Yeah, and on the next screen, we'll see one of the things that we put in there to kind of aid in that. And when we hit that next one, we'll talk a little bit about that. Something that wasn't normal and is kind of seen now as almost like kind of a standard flag for beginners.
So we'll go ahead and start going through the flag rundown here. These flags will be available after the broadcast. You'll have a link to them available in the wiki. We're going to have a weekly of these flags, not this specific seed, but these flags go out tomorrow morning, and a community race tomorrow night with these flags. So you'll have the opportunity to take these flags for a spin. If you want to practice before you submit the Async Weekly or the Duck Weekly, by all means. But the idea here is let's get the exposure, and so let's kick it off into what we're looking at here. So our first section in the randomizer, after you get out of presets, is our goal. And what we have here is a very standard goal. We wanted to kind of go with the basics, right? So with this, we do need to light all 4 of our elemental orbs. We'll have to go to each of the Fiend dungeons to do that, which means we'll have to pretty much find all of our important items for progression. Our Temple of Fiends is going to be the vanilla length, and we are going to have to fight the refights of those fiends. That's pretty much all this tab is saying here.
Yeah.
We'll explore some other options throughout the coming weeks. Luffy, did you have some additional thoughts on that at all?
No, just also, if you play the vanilla game, this is pretty much exactly the way you would have tackled that last dungeon and what you would have had to do to get into that last dungeon. The quality of life on there is the exit of the Temple of Fiends, which sometimes can be useful, but it's on there nonetheless.
Yeah. The exit is basically just a teleporter like you'd see in Sky Palace.
Yeah.
So All right, on to our difficulty and scaling. So this section has several sliders, which is very sibilant to say. We'll start out just quick run through. So prices are going to be varied. If you see here, we have 30% on the low end, 250% on the high end. In parentheses, it's what it kind of averages out to in the course of a given seed. So compared to vanilla, prices will probably be a little bit lower.
Yeah.
We're starting with our regular vanilla 400 gold. I don't know that we have a lot of races where we change this, or just flags sets that we change this.
The only thing that really ends up
being able to buy things.
Right. The only thing that really changes this more so that you see is if you roll something and get a malice with a character that loses gold as one of their starting malices. Other than that, this is pretty standard. 400 is usually the least you'll see unless you get real unlucky.
We will revisit the term malice in a little bit.
That's one of those words that you're going to hear a lot of that'll make a lot of sense eventually.
Our enemy stats, this is referring to non-bosses. That's going to be 70 to 120, so it averages a little bit lower than 100%. We do not have separate HP scaling, so this is going to apply to basically the attack stat, the hit stat, the evasion, the absorb, and the HP. All of that's going to be randomized, and each of those will be randomized individually for the monster. Now, that's not to say that one ogre and another ogre are going to have different stats. No, just ogres have different stats. Gur ogres will have different stats. But each ogre will be statistically identical.
Yes.
Our boss stats are vanilla. There is no randomization of the boss stats in this week. Luffy, do you want to cover encounter rates?
Yeah, so we have 0.6% overworld and 0.7% for dungeon. And underneath that, you'll see 6 of 256 and C 2 of 256. So what that means is every 256 steps is a cycle of the encounter table. Another one of those words you're going to hear a lot of. You should average 6 encounters in those 256 steps when on the land. When you're in the boat, it'll be 2 encounters every 256, sails of the boat, and so on and so on. The dungeons, 0.7, a little bit higher, so it's the same 6 out of 256, but dungeons always feel like they have more. It just feels that way.
Clem asking in chat if we can lower the music volume. So, Osloto, our restreamer, I don't know if you're catching the chat here, but if you could handle that piece for us, that would be fantastic.
I can always lower it on my end, too. It makes it easier, Osloto. Just let me know.
The game music, yeah. Okay, so when we're looking at our encounter rates, that's something that we're going to be revisiting throughout every week. And, every class, we have 2 classes a week. So, keep that in mind. These rates are going to be very important, and it's a foundational skill to understand how these work.
Yeah.
All right. XP and gold boost, very important. In the vanilla game, you level up very slow, and you get very little money. So how this works is the multiplier is not actually a multiplier. It's what we're dividing our required experience and our gold prices by. So when we have a 2.5 times multiplier, we are leveling 2.5 times faster because we're dividing our required amount of experience for each level by 2.5.
Yeah.
The plus 100 is that every monster will have plus 100 to their total experience in gold. So why is this important? Why do we do it that way? Well, we don't want to overflow the numbers. The numbers go up very fast and things break if they are too high. So this is the way we do that.
Yeah. It's a 40-year-old game. It's a little fragile at times.
Yeah. We have hopes in the future of maybe a SNES port, but we'll see when that happens, if that happens. Progressive scaling. So this is super important. We have the ability to change the way that we gain our XP and gold, or rather, again, we're taking it off the requirement. It's going to lower our... Actually, no, the progressive is just increasing. So the progressive gives us for each key item, our key, our loot, our crown, our crystal, herb, all of those items are going to give us 10% more experience each.
Mm-hmm.
There are other options in this, both from a value standpoint and from a what the progressive is.
Mm-hmm.
We will see some of those other options as we go along.
10% is your kind of accepted standard for, again, beginner flag set.
And then the last important bit here, there are normally just a ton of gold chests in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those have been converted to experience.
This is the flag that I was talking about that is really going to help you get those levels and give you that comfort going into the final dungeon. You're going to get quite a lot of XP just by opening some boxes here.
Yeah, and this is something that we have in most of our presets, and is a nice smoothing. Or if you find a big experience box right away, it can just catapult you from like level 1 to level 7. It's pretty great.
Yep.
Luffy, do you want to talk about incentivized locations?
Yes, so we have incentivized locations and items here. 21 locations and 21 items. What that means is there are 21 spots in the game where we're going to either be turning an item in or finding an item, and we will be receiving exactly 21 items back. As you can see on the right-hand side. This does not have anything that you're going to hear, a loose item. We're not going to worry about that here, but just know that these numbers are even. Every turn in on our left is going to give us something on the right, and that's the important thing to remember. Main NPCs, these are the ones that you see in the game, like the king, the princess, Sarah, Bicky, the canoe sage, Sarda, Waterfall Robot, and Caravan Merchant. So everybody that gives you essentially an item from completing something or a fetch quest item. Fetch quest NPCs include the Astos King, the Kindly King at Northwest Castle, Matoya, the Elf Prince, the Dwarfs, the Lefinish, and the Fairies. So you'll need an item to turn into these NPCs to get something from them. That's the difference between these and the main NPCs. You will also notice we have locations here. Ice Cave, Ordeals, Marsh Cave, Titan's Trove, Earth Cave, Volcano, and Sky Palace are all highlighted. That means we will find an item in each of those dungeons. And the placement is that other column. You will see it's all vanilla. So if you know where the vanilla item is, and if you don't, that's fine, because you're going to see it tonight. You will be able to get an item in this exact location. It's not going to be randomized where it is. Looking on the right side, the items, you will see you'll get your main progression items, your quest items, floater, canoe, ship, canal, and tail. So essentially all of your movement and all of your items to progress the game into dungeons will come from these turn-ins. You will also see we have 2 pieces of gear, 2 pretty good ones at that. We have a ribbon, which is going to be a really nice find. It'll protect you from a lot of statuses and insta-kills, and the Mazmoon, which is pretty much consensusly the best weapon in the game most times.
We do have hint givers in towns turned on. Now, this is generally old people.
Yeah.
If you're running around in a town and you see one of the bearded old men, or if you're in Gaia, the witch in the center of town.
Yeah, with the broom.
They will give you either a hint about the placement of an important item or a joke.
Yeah. I will try to remember they're there. Full disclosure, I always forget. So we might have to double back to see what they say from time to time.
It's fine.
So we're going to learn tonight.
Early open progression. This is a very standard flag. We don't turn it off very often, and when we do, there's a very specific reason. So what this flag does is it opens up 2 important pathways on the map, and we will highlight them in the course of tonight. I guarantee it.
Oh, yes.
The first one is a path directly from Canaria to Dwarf Cave. Normally there's a mountain pass a mountain that blocks that, and there is now a walking path there. The other is the river section between Ice Cave and Volcano now connects. In the vanilla game, if you wanted to go to Ice Cave, you could not use the same route as you would to go from Crescent Lake to Volcano because there was a mountain in the way. Now we just put a little forest there.
So evil. Forget that wasn't there. It's so bad.
The vanilla map was a little trolly in that regard.
A little.
So that's the only change from the vanilla map that you'll experience with this week's flags.
Mm-hmm.
Though, as you see, we have a number of other options available to us.
Yeah, they can get kind of fun, so we'll get there.
So, maps and routing. All right. The progression section is super important. The early king means that you don't have to defeat Garland to get the item from the king. Early Sarda means that you do not need to defeat the vampire in Earth Cave to get the item from Sarda. Early Sage means that you do not have to defeat the Lich and light the Earth Orb to get the item from the sages at Crescent Lake. And Early Ordeals means that you do not need the crown to enter Ordeals. These are things that people frequently... it's only like 2 or 3 times that you'll come across somebody who's like not familiar with how these flags work because you experience it once and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go there because I can go there.
Mm-hmm.
Luffy, do you have any other thoughts on those?
I mean, these right here, like, they're usually always going to be on, and that's by design, because this will lead to things not being too overly linear and maybe put something really nasty in your path. We're not really going to see that with the flags we're playing here, but it can be a little tricky. So this opens it up and frees things to be placed in a little bit different areas and make the game a little bit more enjoyable. So keep an eye on this one. If they're off, pay attention to that.
So, towns. We have some nice things that we turn on sometimes. The Gaia shortcut and Move Gaia item shop means that you do not have to walk around the entire town to get to where the fairy pond is. Yeah, there's now just a little, clear-cut shortcut. It's fine.
It is a wonderful quality of life flag from a few years ago that has become pretty standard in what you usually will play now. It's very nice. It makes Gaia enjoyable. It's a good thing.
It does not move the temple.
Right.
So, like, you don't get to revive characters closer to the entrance.
Yeah.
It's still on the far corner.
Still the worst clinic in the game.
Yep, absolutely. Lefenish Hospitality. So normally Lefane is a very barren town.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't necessarily like that. The walk there can be challenging sometimes. The walk back can be challenging sometimes. It all depends on when you have to go there. So we have turned on both an inn and a clinic with the Lefenish Hospitality flag. Additionally, normally there are there's not a whole lot of magic there. There's very hidden level 8 shops. With the Superstore, we get all the magic, except for the stuff that shows up in Gaia. There is a continental agreement of exclusivity. Gaia gets its own magic.
Yes.
Everything else will show up in the Superstore.
Mm-hmm.
This can make some interesting decisions in all sorts of flags. In what we're seeing today, it is mostly, man, I really hope I get to promote before I get to go to Lefane.
It's so funny. Like, you might even see me, like, stall a little bit from going there tonight, because it really incentivizes being promoted, like Saracen said. So you can just buy your magic when you go there, because it's a one-stop shop for pretty much everything your party's going to need up until that point. Your mages, by that point, will have mostly everything they need, but your melees might not have their magic yet. So it can be a useful one-stop instead of having to schlep your way around in, hopefully, the airship, collecting spells. You can just do it in one fell swoop.
All right, and our last 2 flags of note here. Castle Ordeals Pillars. Normally, in vanilla, it's always the bottommost pillar of any room that you're in. We've randomized that. The Titan's Trove. You cannot access the 4 chests in Titan's Cave by landing at the western entrance without the ruby. Normally, the Titan is standing just a little bit off to the east, and you can just kind of sneak by him if this flag is not turned on. But this repositions him nicely so that he blocks all access to those chests unless you get rid of him with that ruby.
Another one of those silly flags. It's like, wow, I forgot that that's not where he stands. You can't backdoor and sneak him in there. The game, you couldn't do it in the vanilla game, so the designers didn't put him where, we put him now. So it's a little forethought.
Treasures and freebies. We start with a free bridge. You may have noticed the bridge was grayed out in the incentive item section. This is why. So we will just have a bridge available to us right away. That applies to both of the bridgeable locations, which is to say there's a bridge south of Dwarf Cave. Treasures are randomized. NPC main items and fetch quest rewards are randomized. This is essential because if you don't have those checked, you are playing vanilla. That covers that.
Not much else there to see, and that's, again, by design.
Luffy, you want to take this section?
Yeah, so shops and magic. So we have shop shuffle on. So essentially, it's going to shuffle the contents of a shop between all shops in the game. So where you would normally get, iron armor in the game, there might not be iron armor in that shop. Where a silver sword would be, there might not be a silver sword, and so on and so forth. Again, to add a little bit of randomness to everything. Shuffled magic levels is an important one. So usually in the vanilla game, you had your early spells that didn't do much, your mid-tier spells that were okay, and you didn't get the good stuff till the end of the game. This gives you the ability to get those really damaging run-changing spells early on, like a level 1 nuke, like a level 2 fade, something that'll be really just kind of set you up where not much can stand in your way and you can just mow things down as you go. The balance column, improve, cure, heal, lamp, and amute. We're not going to use much of the A spells, but the lamp, heals, and cures can be nice. It's going to add a little bit more HP back when you cast them in battle, and definitely can be useful if you have to spam heal pots during battle, which hopefully does not happen tonight. Lock and Lock 2 auto hit. This is a spell, if you know the vanilla game and the way the mechanics work, that Lock was supposed to make the enemy less evasive and give you a little more damage when attacking them melee style. It wasn't working and it was broken and had the opposite effect. We have fixed that, and we have also made it so it hits every time. So you can trust it if we use Lock that it will hit on the enemy and it will make them less evasive. That is important. Power World Threshold 300, so that just means if we have a spell like Quad X, Stun, and so on, if the enemy has less than 300 HP, that spell will automatically work. Enable Soft in battle, and then Life 1 and Life 2 in battle as well. So in the vanilla game, if you got turned to stone or you died in battle, you were dead. You couldn't do anything about that. Now, if you have the ability to do it, you can cast a life spell. You can use a soft potion to bring that light warrior back. It's useful and it can definitely be helpful. And there will be situations where it's crucial, depending on how the flags go in future weeks.
All right, enemies. We are shuffling all sorts of things with these, but you will note that there are no unrunnable encounters. Repeat, there are no unrunnable encounters. We do have a special flag turned on, and we will keep it on for boot camp for any flags that have unrunnables, that it will change run to wait. This is just super important. You will see wait when we are fighting fiends in particular. When you're fighting a boss, you will see wait instead of run. This is to tell you that you cannot run from them. If you are against a regular overworld or dungeon encounter, you will be able to run. That includes Warmac. That includes all the things that normally wouldn't let you get away, like the R-Sahag, Wiz-Sahag packs in C. Shuffle Surprise bonus, very important flag. The things that used to always ambush you, maybe they won't. Maybe some other stuff will. This is just a fantastic flag to spice up certain things and remove spice from things that really didn't need it. Bosses. All right, we're shuffling scripts. We're shuffling skills, spells. What does that mean? Well, so in the vanilla game, you had set percentages for any given boss to choose whether they were using a skill or a spell or an attack. We're shuffling those numbers up. Rather, amongst each other. We're also shuffling those skills and spells. What's the difference between a skill and a spell, you might ask? Spells are things that you can learn in the shop. Skills are things that you couldn't. So things that are skills are nuclear, tornado, poison, both versions of poison, because there's two versions of poison.
Inferno.
Heat.
Blaze.
All those fun little things that monsters would get and you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what those skills are. Now, the script count is going to be vanilla. That means that while we are shuffling this across enemies as well, they're not going to be more or less scripts. However, sometimes something will have a script, but it will not have a skill or spell to go with that script.
Mm-hmm.
On average, random enemies will be a little bit nicer. I skipped over no consecutive nuke or nuclear. This is one of those tricky ones because it's talking about the order of things.
Yeah.
So on a boss, they get 4 skills maximum and 8 spells maximum, and they are in a specific order. You cannot have both nuke and nuclear be in slot 1. You could have one or the other. And in the skills, you cannot have more than 2 nuclears, and they will have a skill in between them, front and back. On the spells, you cannot have more than, or you can't have 2 nukes together.
Right.
Now, what this does not protect you from is first skill nuclear, second skill tornado, first spell fire 3, second spell nuke, and it turns out that
Very bad.
nuclear, and you got blown up, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't solve for that, but it does provide a little bit of protection in that, so you're not going to just see nuclear like you used to on Warmech and Vanilla.
Right.
Status attacks. We removed stun touch.
You're welcome.
The touches are randomized. They're also fixed. They used to be resisted by the element that the monster was weak to.
Yeah, very strange.
Very strange. Now they all have types.
Yeah.
And that means that death touch is covered, and all of that is covered. We have hint bats turned on. What do? Well, they tell you a little bit about the fiend refights and chaos. So when you have completed all of your elemental dungeons, you've got your 4 orbs lit, you've gone back to Temple of Fiends, you can talk to the bats that are hanging out in Garland's room. They will tell you what's going on.
I'll try to remember to look at them tonight as well. Hopefully things go well enough where I won't feel pressured to run past them. They can be useful in certain circumstances. Today I'll just kind of show off and give you a look at what they can probably say.
Last item here, trap tile shuffled. So in the vanilla game, you've got squares that you can walk onto that are a guaranteed encounter. And an example of that is the ever-famous Hall of Giants in Earth. You enter the Earth Cave, you go left, there's all these giants and iguanas, right? Mm-hmm. Could be anything now. There's two different encounters between different squares in there. If you are familiar with the eye tile in Ice, that could be something else. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Won't look too much at spike tiles tonight just because of party composition. They are much more useful in a different party composition with a different melee. Fighters don't really typically like taking static grinds, but I'll show off a couple tonight, just kind of pop on there. There's a few we have to run into anyway, so you'll get a gist of where some of these are.
Party composition, it's fighter week. You are guaranteed a fighter only in slot 1. You then can pick anything other than a black belt for your remaining 3 slots.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the tin.
Yep, that's it.
Luffy, you want to talk about this section?
Yes, so we have some changes here that these are some of these words again, like you heard earlier, malice and bonus. Class balances is the column we're going to look at first. So have black belt crit rate, that's turned off. That's a little bit of a haha. We can't bring a black belt anyway. When this is checked on, essentially what that means is every 10 hits, the black belt has, say, he crits on 8 of them, instead it'll be 4. It just cuts it in half, but we're not worrying about that today. Notable, though, is a double thief and ninja hit percentage growth. This is a really nice flag. It's going to make this thief that we bring tonight, if we choose to, viable as an endgame melee. Better thief and ninja agility at 80. That is super useful. You're going to see that shown off quite a bit tonight. The higher that number is, the less chance that your ninja or thief is going to get punched. And there's going to be a specific slot that we're going to put them in for this specific reason. Raising hit percent cap. I don't really know what this one does. I don't ever look at it. Changes the max hit percentage from 250, allowing for an extra hit that can be gained when status max. Okay, so that'll add an extra hit later on in the game, which is good. So that way you don't run out too early if you end up going super high in levels. M-Death growth is vanilla, so how you would gain your magic defense in the vanilla game is how you would gain it here. Improve harm for White Mage is a nice little thing here for the White Mage. Typically, they have 2 sets of damage spells. They have the Fade, which is, holy in later games. It's a really strong area of effect spell. Non-elemental damage is quite nice. But they also have harm spells. Usually these harm spells only affect the undead monsters of the game. This flag makes it where these harm spells will harm all enemies and does give the White Mage a little bit more viability as a party member that can do some damage rather than just be some sustainability with life or heal. Don't know if we're going to bring one tonight. We'll go over that when we do party composition and select, but it does make them willing to be brought a little more acceptable. Class randomization, we have 1 bonus and no malices, and that bonus may include an innate magic bonus. So what that means is when we look at the party select screen, the character will have a bonus next to their name, so they would get an additional, think of it as like a perk that they will have to start the game. And we'll look at what that is when we go to the party select. And it may or may not be an innate magic bonus. So you might have a ninja that has access to nuke magic. You may have a red mage that has access to teleport magic right away. So it can really make for some interesting party decisions. But how much value do you put on a spell that you can use maybe for movement or for damage early on compared to taking something for a little more security with a different party member? It adds some interesting thought to things. Not so much here with 1, but it does give the ability to make it interesting at times. Not much else on here changes. Starting level at the bottom is 1, max level is 50. No differences for XP bonuses per class. Just some nice little quality of life basic things to start with here for week 1.
All right, equipment and items. You will notice when you start up the game, you will actually have 50 heal potions. Was it 4?
Let me see.
4 pures, 2 softs, and 10 tens.
Yep.
So you are going to have some consumables to work with. That is a very handy thing. That is the Explorer pack in the consumables. Chest stacks are adequate. Adequate gives additional tents or cabins or heals or pures or softs whenever you find those.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than you opened a chest and it had 1 heal pot and you feel real bad that you touched it, you are instead getting 10.
Yeah.
That is a very nice little bonus here. The house full HP restoration. So in vanilla, the houses only restored 120 hit points.
So weird.
Yep.
I guess double a cabin, sure. I mean, whatever.
All right, so here's another one. This one's kind of super common. Guaranteed defense item, ruse. Mm-hmm. So there was an item called the power staff or power stick or whatever you felt like calling it. Power rod?
Yeah, power stick, power rod sounds fine.
The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stick, because it sold for, or its sell value was 12,345. It was a terrible staff. It did nothing. We've made it so that if you use it in battle, it casts Ruse. Ruse is super good for a defensive skill.
Yep.
It's 2 stacks of evasion. 6 stacks of evasion, you're basically unhittable.
Yep.
Equipment blursing. So, hey, we like having bonuses on our classes.
Right?
Why don't we have bonuses on our swords and armor? Well, we do now. Number go up means good. Just for right now, we can talk about numbers later on, but just for right now, think big number good.
Yep.
That's all we need to think. There's going to be, obviously some nuance to that later on. A Masa 0, regular Masamune, is still a very good sword and is definitely better than an Ice +5. But we get to the stats as we go in.
Yeah.
Blurst armor, much the same. Big number, good. Big number means more absorb and less evasion penalty. The weight stat, if you're familiar with that from the guides. Balance. We have fixed weapons. So, all right. In the vanilla game, the crit rate of a weapon was equal to its index number, not its crit number. Why?
Yeah.
In traditional fashion, we like to say blame Nasir, who is the notable primary programmer from the credits. We fixed that. We've also doubled the weapon crit rate after we fixed that. It's pretty good. It makes weapons comparable to what black belt fists can be after we also have the black belt crit rate, because black belt crit rate was nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely bonkers. If you had a level 50 black belt in vanilla, it had a 50% crit rate. It was bonkers.
Glory days.
So, there's that. We also fixed the elemental damage bonus. In vanilla, the flame sword was supposed to be good against things that were weak against fire. It didn't.
Yeah.
That was just a mistake. We fixed that and we made it bigger. It was supposed to be like 5 or 10 extra attack power. We're making it 30.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. And
it does make a difference. It does make a difference when you have it.
So down to our game adjustments. There's a lot to go over here. These are not going to change much at all during the course of this. So, real quick, House MP Restoration. I believe it used to be 1 charge of each level is what you used to get.
Yeah,
Now
think so.
You just get them all. A house is a full in with these flags.
Yep.
Weapon stats corrected. Hey, guess what? That's where we fixed the crit and everything else that was wrong with weapons. Run chance was broken in vanilla. Now it's actually based off luck like it's supposed to be, which makes Thief really good and Black Mage really good at running. Spell fixes. Bunch of spells were broken. They work better now. Enemy status attacks. They were broken. They work better now. The Black Belt and Master Absorb fix. I think the issue with that is you used to be able to equip stuff and add the level.
I believe so, yeah.
Whereas now it's, if you have no armor equipped, you get your level as Absorb.
Yeah.
RNG tables. The gist of this is RNG was whack, and we tried to make it better. Conveniences. So, in vanilla, if a character died, they got moved to the back of the order. No.
Yeah, it's so annoying when you think about it. Like, I get it, I guess, for the original game when it was programmed, but stop. My menuing is important.
The difference between the 2 check marks, honestly, I don't know why RNG tables has a different checkmark color.
I'm not sure.
That's really interesting.
I do see that too on my end.
There is a secret different color that we have not shown at all in these flags, and that's what we call tri-state. Yeah, that's orange. And if you see orange, that means you don't know until you get in. It's science time when you have a tri-state flag. But I don't know why that one's a different color.
I'm not sure. Typically, that changes color like that if you can tri-state something after it, or when you can mess around with flags multiple ways. But it doesn't do anything for that. It's weird.
Yeah, that one's just special apparently.
Yeah. Don't turn that one off. We'll leave it at that. That's a button you don't push.
This section generally we don't touch a lot out of here.
Yeah.
So speed hacks. There are so many things in this game that were just slow, and we sped them up. Well, I say we. I mean the devs did. We have an extremely capable and wonderful dev team, and you should always thank your devs. Faster walking speed, faster ship. Hey, guess what? We like going fast in a racing environment and a running environment. The walking speed of vanilla was painful. We multiplied it by 2. That made it as fast as the vanilla ship. Then we were like, man, the ship is just so slow. It's the putt-putt boat. And now the faster ship, it goes as fast as the airship.
Still feels twice as fast, though. It's so weird.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Identify treasures. So this one tells you, instead of can't hold anymore, when you try to open a chest and you have a full inventory of whatever that thing is, it tells you what's in the chest. Buy quantity. Do you ever remember handing the controller to your little sibling to buy all of those heal potions? Nah. You just get a quantity thing now. Okay. Change unrunnable to run to wait. I explained that before. Critical hit count. You get to see how many crits you got in an attack. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Battle magic menu wraparound. Level 8 magic used to suck to get to.
Yep.
Now level 5 magic is the worst to get to.
It's so true. I don't know. I go up to go to level 5. It's probably the same as going down the same click. It's weird.
All right. Now we're going to get to the most important series of flags and the conveniences.
Yes.
NPC guillotine. If an NPC only has one thing to say to you, and you talk to them, they will go away. We have many things that we go along with them.
Oh, this was so groundbreaking when it first happened. Like, I came in just as this was a thing, and this is like just normal now, and it is so good. You don't know how good it is.
The bats in Earth Cave are NPCs.
Yep.
I just want to say this is a very important piece of lore.
Yes.
They are NPCs, and they will die.
Yeah.
Get rid of the bats.
You'll see that tonight for sure.
Auto sort inventory. Okay. Do you remember that as soon as you got the loot, it got harder to go to heal potions because the loot is the first item in your inventory in vanilla? No. Heal potions will always be the first item in the inventory. If you have heal potions, pure potions will be the second item. If you have both of those, softs will be the third item. Then tents, then cabins, then houses, then all of those key items after that.
Yeah. Quite nice for menuing in battle.
Menuing in battle, menuing out of battle, when you have to spam heal potions.
Yeah.
Like, I never wanted to learn the menuing. Just the menuing to use heal pots. There used to be tech around it because you would get rid of enough save items to put heal potions in a convenient place.
Yep.
It's horrible. Just no. Shop information and chest information. Super important flags. When you open a chest and it has a weapon or an armor piece in it, you will see stats for that item. We will learn more about the stats, but remember, big number good, unless on an armor piece, it's evasion, because those numbers are negative and therefore bad.
Yeah.
Shop information, a little bit of a misnomer on that, because it's not just shops. It's also your inventory and your magic menu, with everything. If you hit select when you are looking at something in a shop, it will show you the stats.
Mm-hmm.
That also means spells. If you don't know what a spell does, get your cursor over it, hit select. It'll tell you.
I'll show that off tonight right away, too. I'm trying to forget that one.
Incentive chest fanfare. So this is more important when we have randomized locations for certain things. But there are 3 ribbons in the pool, and we have one of those incentivized. And if you had 2 ribbons land in a location and you didn't know that one of them was the incentive,
Whew.
that was a real big deal. When
The
things are
dark
raining.
ages. The dark ages.
And our last flag that is turned on. This one, you get to blame me for this one. This is actually, I say blame, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Trance was non-elemental in vanilla. And that meant that sorcerers, that evil encounter that would stun your entire party and then slowly death touch them, would just blast you. And you could randomly lose a dive of the endgame dungeon 2 steps from Chaos's floor. Because you found sorcerers and they decided to trance you. Now it is status element, the ribbon protects.
Yeah. Wonderful quality of life here. If this isn't on, it's another thing to watch out.
Yep. All right, so we have spent 45 minutes going over every single flag we have turned on tonight.
Sorry.
That probably means it's time to move.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go fast.
Yeah, these flags, I would say a veteran runner like Luffy is probably going to get around, 50 minutes to an hour 10. It all depends.
Yeah, I did a few practices and it was in between that time frame. So, one of 2 things, either fast or I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, just keep in mind, this is going to be most likely the longest broadcast that we have.
So before I just go ahead and do party select because I want to get us going, this is what I was talking about with the bonus. Like you can see right there, the fighter, which in this slot, I can't change him. He is a fighter no matter what. That's a forced party member. So he has Hurt Dragon, which means that anytime I come across a dragon type monster, this fighter will basically be doing double damage to them. Could be pretty handy, and it's definitely handy against an enemy like Tiamat, because then she can be getting some hurt.
Yeah, the technical answer on that is it's that elemental damage bonus that we mentioned, that plus 30 that you saw in the weapon section. That just applies whatever weapon you're using, as long as the target is the dragon. Thief had wood armor adept or improved wood, whatever the wood armor bonus name is.
Yeah, wood armor adept. So on top of that 80 agility they have to start, if I find the entire set of wood armor, the thief can equip it and get max evasion. Basically means that they probably won't be hit ever.
Yeah. It puts them to the equivalent of 5 stacks of invis, which is 1 short of maxed out. Barber asking about dinos and lizards. Yes, they are dragons.
Yep. So Agama counts, Steak counts, even and Kylos count. We don't want to fight them, but they do.
I don't know if wyverns do.
I don't think they do. I'm not sure what they are. Good question.
I don't know.
Plus vitality on the red mage. That's a nice little piece of security there. Red mage is a kind of overall mage. Little bit of offense, little bit of defense, the ability to be a melee if need be. They're pretty standard in most of my party compositions. If this white mage had any kind of strength, I would consider her to be able to show off the harm all, but I don't think that will come into play tonight. And then the promotion fighter armor, or promo FI, and then the picture of the male means promo fighter armor. So if and when we get promotion, if I have, an extra piece of ice armor laying around, I can just put that on, as I spell out ice while my brain is doing things. I can just slap that ice armor on this black mage, and, he will have some super extra absorb.
So, question in chat. And Luffy, you can explain the answer to this, but Night Rook Raven says, I came in late. Why does the thief have a stash now?
Have a stash?
Yeah, like a mustache.
I'm not sure. I thought that was like his, scowl almost. I'm not, that's Wildham. These are his sprites.
So the correct answer here, what I was trying to get at, is we have the ability to replace the sprites of the vanilla game. This is something where we have sprite sheets available to download in the wiki. And when you are generating a seed, you have the option to choose to import that sprite sheet and the randomizer site will push it in, and your randomized version will have that sprite sheet instead.
Because that is like so common with people to use their own sprites now. I totally forget that that's a thing. So thank you.
It's funny because I don't use that. I manually put in my replacement sprites for the 2 ROMs that I use. You'll see on Wednesday night, you'll see my sprites, and you'll understand that there is a notable difference that will happen when we are in the shops and when we are having a victory. But Luffy, I think we have forestalled the inevitable long enough.
Yeah, I'm ready to get going.
All right, count us in. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Getting ready in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Ale asking if I use the mermaid sprites sometimes. Generally not on broadcast. They're a little spicy.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at our white magic here. The red mage can learn slot 1 and 3 prior to promotion. After promotion, they can also learn slot 4. So the heal 2 would have been nice, but not nice enough to justify a white mage at this point. The exit, however...
That's nice. That's very nice learnable. Yeah, very nice.
Also notable, if a spell is learnable by a class, they will have their victory pose in the shop.
Yeah, they can learn all of these, the red mage and the black mage. You can see they're doing a little stance thing compared to the ninja and the fighter. So not bad.
It'll be a little bit more obvious in the white magic shop again, since you can swap between slots 1 and 2.
So 2 spells I'm going to pick up here. Fire 2, Quad X. We talked about Quad X and how nice that is as a power word spell. And leaving 1 slot for that red mage for sure to pick up Exit. That's going to be useful traversing some dungeons.
That is steel armor, chain +5. Wow, this is a major shop. All right, so what I said before, big number good whenever you're seeing blurst equipment. 100% true.
Yep.
Chain +5 is almost end game armor sometimes.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's almost essentially a silver bracelet plus, which is really nice.
It's actually better than a vanilla gold bracelet.
Yeah, you're right.
So a silver sword +5, actually a serviceable weapon.
Yeah.
That is, honestly, it's a really good weapon.
Yeah. I don't have the money for it right now, unfortunately. So we'll buy a couple of these large daggers just to have something in case we run into trouble.
Luffy, go to the hint giver.
Oh, thank you. See, I already forgot. And Barb even said something to me beforehand. So this guy's your hint giver. And this is nice. He says, you've hidden the cube on floor 3 of Earth Cave. Can you find it? So the incentive location on Earth Cave, next to the vampire, will have the cube, which we'll need to complete the Sky Palace.
That is incredibly useful information because the vanilla incentive box for Earth Cave is horrible.
Yep.
If you're familiar with vanilla, that is the chest that you got the ruby out of. So Luffy's going to check a couple boxes here because with randomized chests, sometimes you get really cool things here. That heal helmet is a lot of money usually, and we're at a part of the seed where we want that money.
Yeah, might be able to use that to buy a silver sword if we are lucky. That is a motley crew of not great. Okay.
Well, you escaped.
I did.
It feels bad having to use heal pots at level 1.
Yep. Yep, sure does. But you know what? It's better than having 2 dead party members at present.
Absolutely.
That tells me I'm going to do this just to secure myself, just in case.
So, as you can see, screen wipes are very fast in this compared to vanilla. Just walking into the Temple of Fiends normally takes forever. All right. So...
well, here's a chance to show off the bats here as they're in my way talking to Sarah. So this guy right here, we'll talk a little bit about Chaos, apparently. Has a pretty powerful attack, thick armor, and can crack you like an egg. So Chaos has the skill Crack, for sure.
Tiamat has Cure 4. That's really good to know.
Interesting.
Oh, Kraken.
Yeah.
Kraken not actually hitting that hard. Well, you know why? It's because it's vanilla stats.
Yep, you're right. Yeah. Can hit you like half a dozen times. Okay. And then I'm sure Lich will be not that dangerous. Okay. Yeah.
And doesn't like to use magic.
Interesting. Oh boy. Hi.
Early Canoe is the most dangerous game.
Oh boy.
And a canal coming from Sarah. All right,
Great.
so little piece of information here. If you were to cast Exit from inside Canaria Castle, you would end up outside of the Temple of Fiends because it's connected when you talk to Sarah. All right, the Heel Helm is going to give us a little bit, but not enough for one of those swords.
Yeah, so I like to check the item shop here. One, to make sure I'm not getting caught by some possible shop item right here. Two, to see if we have any save items, which we do. We have houses, which are moderately priced at best right there. That's not great. You will always see in Canaria pures, heals, and softs guaranteed. So that we do not have to track them down. Save items may or may not show up here. Houses are fine, but we can't really afford those right now. So for the time being, I'm just going to grab like 30 of these and like 10 of these and just move on.
So the house price is significantly lower than vanilla. It's very nice. We did get to see our buy quantity there. One thing that you'll notice Luffy doing a lot is using his resets.
Yes.
We'll talk more about resets later on in the boot camp. But the short answer right now is it's just faster than listening to the jingle that comes up when you use a tent or save at the inn or any of that. Luffy is going for some money here. Finds a wood shield. But, you know, we aren't going to worry about that right now.
Yeah, I can find one of those in the shop if I really, really need it. It's not worth keeping. Oh my god, they are ambush happy.
They sure are. Well, we are about to go fight Bicky. Bicky the pirate. If you played Stranger of Paradise, apparently they decided that it's BK.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, that's some randomized stuff for you right there. Gerwolf's not safe.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so you're seeing some really nasty stuff here. With this thief in slot 1, I should not be getting ambushed the way I am. So something in that pack of Grimps and Grey Wolves is jacked up in their encounter. That's unfortunate.
Well, it's per formation. So, yeah. Notable, the bridge guy and the Mohawk guy here, they have more than one thing to say, therefore they cannot be guillotined. That's why we hate them.
Yeah, well, Danny taught me a lot of things that she knows, so yeah, I did this to myself. Hopefully it's just early, though.
So the pirates in vanilla usually take a while. Oh, you left your flags for stuff on. All right, so the cabbage is the ruby. I'm going to repeat that. The cabbage is the ruby.
Yeah.
So in the randomizer, we have the ability to put some fun names on things. The ruby and the loot are the main things that we'll probably see. I don't know if you had fun enemy names turned on.
I do not know. Just I have multi-instrumental Sarah and I have health
Titan
food for the Titan.
Health food specifically.
Yeah. I'm going to grab that wooden helmet. That's a really bad shop to come back to if I really need to get any kind of gear. So I'm going to grab that for the ninja / thief right now. Here's the hint giver in this town.
Sarda has the ribbon.
That's interesting.
That's information, right? Like, we want the ribbon.
Yeah.
As soon as we get a ship, we can get the ribbon or the airship.
Oh boy.
What a shop here. All right. Quick talk about this. Confuse is a spell that is useful against very little, but Carry the Fiend is one of them.
Yep. So we're going to buy that for a little bit of security here.
What was white magic? Terrible?
Yeah, the harm, invis, single target. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, stuff and things.
Yeah. I am not going to get baited by that canoe to go the other direction.
Spoiler alert, chat. I haven't actually seen any of this seed, but that means that whatever we need is actually an ice cave.
Yep, sure is. But I'm not going there. No, not yet. Not with no save items. Not with no.
I 100% support your decision here. I wanted to say that.
I'm a coward.
So let's talk about randomizer logic at a very high level. When we think about how things get placed in the game, there are spheres of accessibility. That's how we tend to say it within the randomizer community at large.
There was one of those nice XP boxes that jumped me from level 5 to 7.
Very nice. So this is a new bit of development here because we can now take this canoe and just go over where the canal would be.
Oh, that was gross.
Was that like a death touch or something?
No, it was ogres with quad X.
Oh. Yeah, this is a fun early game.
Yeah.
So when we get an early canoe, that gives us access to the entirety of the inner sea in a very dangerous fashion. Which means that Ice Cave is accessible early. And as soon as something is accessible, it is logically accessible as well. And that means that it can have something progression gating.
Yeah, so we're going into Marsh Cave here. In the vanilla game, this would be our next stop at whatever point of the game we're in anyway. There may be something here, but that canoe could have taken whatever item would normally appear here and say, nope, you're in the wrong part of the world. But we're coming here anyway because I'm scared. I should be probably terrified of this dungeon as well.
Ale pointing out that you have both Fire 2 and Exit on that red mage, so the seed did clearly want you to go someplace horrible.
Yep, it sure did. Oh boy.
Barber saying that ice needs warp. Exit's good enough.
Yeah, it's good enough.
The reason for warp is to just get there and get out, right?
Ooh.
Xcal +1. Oh, baby, we have a sword.
Yeah, that's an endgame weapon for sure.
All right, so hurt all really means hurt everything but chaos. And that means that we get that damage bonus for elemental weapons to everything.
Yep.
It's very good. So getting back to the warp thing. So warp is nice because there's a trick with it. And when the trick works, it means that you can skip the rest of the dungeon. This was our first instance of the...
That's very cute.
The first instance of our shuffled spike tiles.
Yeah.
And Luffy continuing the dangerous run. He's going to go for more chests.
I want to just, finish this. I think there's a little bit of value to showing people routing through this dungeon, even though technically I could exit out here and probably should.
Yeah, that's fair.
I got turned around.
He could check the lock chests too, but I would say don't.
Oh, nope. We're taking this and we're walking away. That's an absolute win right there. With Gur Wolves able to appear in there at any point, that's a win.
Yeah, so the 3 bottommost chests of that floor, if you're looking at the floor as a grid, it is a 4x4 set of rooms. The bottom left, if we call that 1-1, that has a chest. And the one to the right of that, if we call that 1-2, that has a chest. Skip 1-3, and then 1-4 also has a chest. So you are guaranteed to have 2 spike tiles when checking those rooms, and an optional 3rd. And all the extra steps in Marsh that come with it. And Marsh is a dangerous dungeon. It has a lot of varied formations, which means you have a lot more chances to run into terrible things.
Lackluster Elfland Closet there. There's kind of magic here.
Ice 3 is a good spell.
Not where we're having to go, but it's definitely passable.
So Luffy is set with a bit of a dilemma here.
Okay.
The fade is very nice.
Alright, so I already bought Ice 3 and put it in the slot 1 for the Red Mage there. Like, I'm a little aggravated at myself with that, but it's fine. Heal 3 is nice.
Heal 3 is very nice.
Here's your hint giver in this town.
The robot has the crown. Now, what would be really nice
Hey,
is
look.
if a warp
Okay.
and nothing else of value.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab the heal 3 before warp. Then let's talk real quick while Saracen. Real quick, we're talking about spell placement here. Like, I don't want to put warp in slot 1 for the off chance that I could be hammering spells and using that to warp out. So for a bit of safety and for a bit of menuing in battle, even I'm gonna put heal 3 in the slot, first slot of level 4 magic before I buy warp. Just something to keep in mind, possibly for later on down the line in future weeks. Where you put your spells can be important.
So with that, some games allow you to change. Oh, the bottle is for sale here. Well, it's good that it's the bottle because we don't care.
Yeah, it's a lot of money too that I do not have.
So when we're thinking about, oh, there's the wood chest. You could get the full bonus for the thief if you go back to Matoya.
I could.
The thief needs to offload something.
Yeah,
there's an opal shield that needs to go away.
Yep, we'll just sell that. A little bit of extra money anyway. So we could do the walk around here. I don't think we're going to.
You have a choice.
I do have a choice.
So Luffy is presented with the choice of go back to Canaria Castle or go to Crescent Lake to get a relatively free incentive item.
Well, there's no Canaria Castle is not incentivized, right?
Oh, is it not?
I don't think so. I'm double checking now. You're making me think. No, it is not. It
is not. Okay, I was wrong. I was wrong.
So we are having to go over toward Crescent Lake / Ice Cave volcano area. So
okay,
hold on to your butts. Here we go.
Sometimes I forget my own flags, and especially since I wrote these flags months ago. Yeah, it's just right out the brain.
Yeah.
This is why when I'm running, I actually keep on my second monitor the incentive locations up.
As do I. Do we have tents for sale anywhere? Nope. I may buy one of those or two of those houses.
Okay. That's another shop of things that exist, I guess.
Yuck.
All right, so the key is nice to have. It opens up a few chests that Luffy would otherwise not have access to. Notably, there's 6 in Canaria Castle, 8 in Dwarves. Hey, it's the ship. Cool.
That's cute.
So skip ice? Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't have a canal.
Yeah, you do. You got the canal from Sarah.
Did I? Oh, yep. They see. This is what I'm tracking on 2 different trackers. That's right. I do have the canal. Yeah. Yeah. Right. That's probably a good idea.
All right. I'm going to stop talking about key locks and move on to where does the ship go? Remember how I said that in vanilla there's mountains between the volcano and ice cave?
I want to show that off.
Important. That's very important. We have early open on, we have that trail between, but that's a very important distinction because if they are south of those mountains, if they are in volcano, if you get an item like the ship in volcano or Crescent Lake, it is going to show up at Elfland because that is the nearest dock on the inside of the sea.
Yeah.
If you find it in ice, it will go to Provoca.
Yeah. And I'll show you that dock again, even though we were already there, but just to kind of show you where it is. Oh, I half looked at that, and for a second there, I thought that said crack, and I was going to be very sad. As I'm kind of being generous with when I'm saving.
This actually might be a good reason to stop at the Matoya dock.
I'm gonna,
And
here's the dock that appears in. Yep, I'm gonna do that too, because why not? So here's the dock that appears in from Ice Cave, obviously.
I know that this is all fast and furious. We're just trying to keep up here.
Yeah.
All right, so Matoya has a dock as well. Generally speaking, the ship goes to the nearest inside the inner sea dock. That means that if you get it from Matoya, it will be at Matoya's dock, that sort of thing. The place where that matters the most is when it comes from Volcano, Crescent Lake, or Ice.
I can't believe I'm picking up a cabin because I'm worried about safe items.
Yeah. Oh, you forgot to say.
I sure did.
Fire 2, don't fail us now.
I should have used Ice 3. We're okay, actually. If it's just Scorch, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's Scorch into Blaze is the problem.
Yeah. Okay, we're fine. We'll save now. There are encounters bunched together in here, and I'm not trying too much to figure those out tonight. But there is a way to kind of use the encounter table to your benefit eventually when you learn how to do that. It's a little advanced for what we're showing off here, but I can tell that there's quite a few of them bunched together in spots where they could be avoided.
It was Blizzard, not Blaze. Okay, yeah. Bad things.
Yeah. All right, so with the canal, we're out of here. We know that we have a cube and Earth Cave based off of the hint givers. We know that Sarda has a ribbon. So we got a choice here. We can either go to Titan, which is where we're going to go real quick, because we got 4 boxes in there with an incentive item. Plus, we can pick up that ribbon, because why not? Or I am seeing it in chat from Phoenix. We're going to go to Ordeals. That's happening. But I want that ribbon
would
first.
have contemplated checking the Melmond hint giver before heading out here.
You could still do that. But yeah.
Well, specifically to see if it told us if Titan had something worth noting.
I am banking on Titan please having something. So I'm saying to myself.
So from a standpoint of progression, Ice, Ordeals, and Titan.
Oh yeah, Titan had something, alright. Okay.
So yep, this is the news we wanted.
Okay. So that's good. That's the seed taking pity on us after the first 20 minutes.
So Luffy is choosing to go after the floater before picking up the ribbon from Sarda. 100% the correct play.
Mm-hmm.
The reason is that the airship does not have encounters.
Yep.
And walking to Sarda has 6 encounters in every 256 steps.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so back on the key logic thing. What does the key unlock? So there's 3 chests in Temple of Fiends that are gated by 1 type of spike tile. There's 6 in Canaria Castle, 8 in Dwarves, 3 in Northwest Castle, 4 in Elf, 3 in the bottom of Marsh, and that friendly chest in Sea.
Yeah. That you do not know is locked, because when you go there, you have to have the key.
Yep.
Right,
so we are now seeing Luffy get that ribbon that we already knew about. That is very nice information.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have a couple of things to chase after here, and this hint giver may very well tell us what we should go after.
Oh, jeez.
So, all right, that's useful information. The poem is the loot.
Okay.
The poem is the loot.
Yeah, guys. Fast is good to see, finally. I haven't seen Temper yet, which is concerning.
Fast is very important. Cure 4 is going to be Red Wizard learnable. Life 2 is Red Mage learnable.
We'd like that quite a bit.
We do want our promotions still.
Yes, we do. Okay.
Well, we know our shop item is located in Elfland for like 32 grand.
Yeah, so we're going to open a few free boxes here and try to find some money, please. Maybe some XP also, please.
Either of those things would be very welcome.
There's some. Hey, there we go.
Hey, guillotine.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Ice armor +2, extremely good armor.
Mm-hmm. How much money do I have? Not enough. Okay. I would like to buy that bottle before I take a dive into anywhere right now. Because if that bottle is the key, or the tail, that'll make some things quite easier.
There are all sorts of things that could be very helpful right now, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
That was some money.
Yep, I like that. The XP is no joke either.
Yep, the XP box is nice. One important note with the XP boxes, that number is the total. It is then divided amongst the upright and standing party members. That means if you have all 4 up, you just divide that number by 4.
Okay, well, I'm not tracking down more money. We're going to ordeals.
Okay,
All right.
that makes sense.
You get your wish, Phoenix. So
Ordeals is a dungeon that we like to go to because it's good experience, and we have the tools. Having the tools is really the important part.
I found the first encounter, so let's see if I can... Oh, I burned the house by accident because I used the last 10. Okay, well, anyway. I found where the first encounter is. Spicy.
So the Ordeals maze continues to be a maze, but it is not necessarily that bottom pillar, as we mentioned during the flag breakdown. But it seems to be playing out well tonight. Jeez.
Ooh, okay. Sure. Dang it.
You do have warp.
Oh, I do have warp now, don't I? And I do have
Yep.
charges because of the chests. Silly me.
This Zombo pack is good experience if you don't run from it.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things where you're just like, do I run from it?
I get scared when I see a pack of any kind of undead. I feel like they always just have something really terrible waiting for me if I'm not careful.
Ambush Mummy Whiz Mummy can be a very scary encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Mummies have maxed out morale, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And therefore they will never run from you. Using warp here is going to bring us back to the prior teleporter. That means that we can save you a ton of steps. And we get Pillar 4!
That's adorable.
Phoenix gets his wish.
You're welcome. Okay. I just realized I didn't do this on this one. This is now done.
The double tracker is biting you.
It is. Hey, look at that. There's a weapon I can swing.
Ooh, Sun Sword +5. That's a real sword.
Alright, now I don't feel too bad about going into any dungeon initially.
Now it'd be really funny if this is going to be like the tail here.
Yeah, right. I hope it is, honestly.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, I was worried about something like that.
Was that a death touch?
Sure was.
So yeah, sometimes you get the short end of the stick here.
Mm.
That just, it happens. Hey, there's another ribbon! Hooray!
That makes a lot of this worth it.
I like how it's equipped on the dead character right now. And that is our incentive Moss Mune, which... You just throw that on the thief?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now, right? Now I'm not scared of much of anything.
Yeah, that's 2 good swords.
Oh boy. And
they brack!
I should not have opened my mouth. No, I'm not scared of anything.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, that happened.
It sure did.
Yeah, alright, well, the problem with this is we're really running out of choices about where to go for much of anything that's not just a general bad idea. So, Ice Cave is still on the table. Volcano has an incentive item. We can do both of those. Cheapers.
You have ice, the bottle, and volcano.
Yeah, but I still don't think I have money for the bottle. I do not. I do not. Okay, so
waterfall for crown. Ale is correct.
Yeah, that is also true. That is also true. I gotta buy a couple houses. Alright.
We know that Earth has the cube.
We do. Without a rod, there's really nothing we can do in Earth Cave just yet.
Yeah, there's no point in going to Earth until we have the rod or the chime.
Alright.
I like how this is your choice over ice when you have both warp and exit.
Yeah, I want to get, clear some dungeons. I know.
ABCD, always be clear in dungeons.
Yep. I am going to pick up the boxes on this is the volcano armory floor, we call this. It's just very chest dense. I'd still like a few little bit of gear. I'd like some money, please. I would also like to see if I can get a little bit more XP because we are gaining quite a bit of that through boxes as well.
So there was a question in chat about, is that Sun Sword as good as the X-Cal? And the answer is, the Sun Sword is currently equipable and the X-Cal is not.
Yeah.
The main benefit of the X-Cal is that it's going to have a damage bonus against everything. It is going to hit like a truck.
Mm-hmm.
The Sun Sword just being equipable right now is its benefit. And there's an Ice Sword, which you could throw onto the Red Mage, I guess?
Yeah.
And the White Shirt, which will cast Invis too.
Yeah. All right. Now I feel pretty safe about Kelly.
Kelly being one of the fun names that we have for the boss of Volcano, Carrie.
All right. So we're going to go through. We're going to finish out this dungeon. We're going to at least try to. We don't have Fast. We don't have Temper. We got Fade, and we got, I think, just enough. We got Lock. And we should be able to make it through okay. Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Dude, just swing at the single R Hydra.
I know. Okay. Yeah, hold on to your butts. Here we go. we're going in. We didn't even save after the armory, so we're just gonna hope.
Yeah, Dark Moon's call out here is correct. The stats matter when we're thinking about that Sun Sword versus X-Cal because the elemental damage bonus will not apply to Chaos. So the stats are very important on a raw basis.
I am only grabbing the quote-unquote free boxes on this floor. Any kind of extra defense, please. This could be a dangerous fight. You should respect Kelly. Oh,
all right. That's a super good item. What does the Power Gauntlet do? We call it the Power Bonk sometimes. It is a hand-equipable item that, when you use it in battle, casts Saber. If you didn't use Saber in Vanilla, I understand. It was not working properly in Vanilla.
Okay. Yeah.
However, in the Randomizer, it is quite good.
Okay.
As a reminder to Luffy, who may not be remembering this particular bit, Carrie has vanilla stats.
Yep. Oh, come on. And they have more XP than a Quad X. Like, come on, man.
More HP? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
A little dangerous. The danger noodles are in full effect.
Yeah. Wrong worms.
So, from a spike tile perspective, we're going to talk about this in a week, more in depth. There are 4 spike tiles in terms of variety in Volcano. This chest is behind number 3 and number 4. So we knew when we saw the nightmare on the prior floor at the bottom right room that it was going to be reappearing as we got in closer to that chest.
Oh my god, encounters, please. Terrifying.
Did it just cast Lock at you?
It sure did!
So the chest that Luffy picked up was the Volcano Incentive chest, that one on this floor, behind the 2 spike tiles. That gave us our Adamant, which is a turn-in at the Dwarf Cave. So we will see what Smithy McBeardsmith has for us in not that far off.
Okay, we're good.
We're good. Carry 1 has 600 hit points in vanilla, which means that when we saw that 340 damage come out, that was enough to get the Quad X to work.
All right. So pick up our party member at the party member store. Oh my god, we still don't have enough money for that bottle. Oh, come on, man.
Sell the ice sword.
I'm getting to that point, yeah. I'm just gonna go do the turn in right here, and maybe there's something in the armory.
You checked the full armory, not the full floor of it, but the full
Not the full
armory.
floor, yeah. That's cute.
All right, so we get the crystal. Do you want to check the dwarf lock just while
I
we're
am.
here? You have exit.
Yeah, I am. With exit, I'm checking these boxes. A little bit more XP would be nice.
We do
still
not have
like
the TNT yet to get the poem from Narek.
Oh, that's nice.
The opal bracelet is the best mage armor of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely enormous even before having a bonus on it.
Oh boy.
Ruse stick, very good.
And that's
ring,
nice too.
also very good.
Let's do this. Okay.
So the ruse stick, as mentioned before, is going to be a use in battle to get 2 stacks of evasion.
Mm-hmm.
That is extremely important in some fights.
Oh boy.
Oh, betrayed.
Yep.
So back down we go.
Yeah, we got the semi-lazy dwarves tonight.
Yeah. So we're going back down towards where those locked chests were so that we can talk to Narek and get our loot, which is a poem this evening.
Yeah.
And that tells us, unfortunately,
Yep.
that it's either that bottle, for which we will need to sell something,
Yep.
or Ice Cave.
I mean, I guess I could sell that Bane sword too, probably.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, you know what? I'm just gonna go to Ice Cave. Looking at what's left, what we have to do, we have no dungeon items. Ice is gonna be required either way. We found our ribbon, we found our masa. We're gonna have to do this. Let's just shut up and do it.
Rip off the Band-Aid.
We have absolute survivability now at these levels anyway. This dungeon's not scary.
I mean, it still is. Nobody really likes Ice Cave. It's not a fun dungeon. It's so many steps.
Yeah.
So many steps. Now, I guess the other thing, and, you know, we're going to talk about this as a piece of routing thought, but the crown is known to be at Waterfall, and we don't know what's behind it.
Mm-hmm. Probably the Oxio, the way this seed's behaving.
Right? So, from a standpoint of routing, what we tend to say is never double dip on rack.
It's adorable too.
All right, the herb.
All right, what else was done?
The loot.
The loot, thank you. That fire orb, we got, thank you. I appreciate you for doing that. Hey, that's free real estate. Okay.
Well, this is, you know, the convenient part of this is you had to go to Elfland anyway.
Yep. Okay, so that'll do,
that
right?
covers you. Okay.
That'll do, right? It's 27, not 37, right? No, it's 37. Dang it.
It was 34, I thought.
Do we have anything else? Maybe that. Sure. Sure. Okay, that's fine. Now we're good.
Did you just sell the fighter's equipped weapon?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the ice sword on him and say heck it. Oh, it's 32. All right, we're good.
We both overshot. Well, so it goes.
Yeah. Well, that was a nice sun sword while it lasted.
You have an herb, sir.
I do, right? I just saw it when I was popping the bottle.
Popping bottles.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Hey,
man.
come on. This is convenience. We get the double dip.
Yeah.
All right, so slab is the worst item in the game.
Yeah. This is really looking like I'm gonna have to double dip Lefane as well, because I'm just like I said, I was gonna put off that tail until I had to.
All right, so the slab needs to be translated by our good friend Dr. Un. And once we have translated the slab, we will be able to talk to the people at Lefane, and they will not go lupa at us. Yeah. Because they don't speak our language. Mm-hmm. They've been cut off.
Can't even buy fast while I'm here. Come on, man.
The money situation in this seat is so ridiculous.
I can't remember the last time it was 40 minutes in a duck seat and I had no money. What is this?
All right, so we have a bottle, we have a slab. These are convenient turn-ins to do together.
Yeah.
They both require the airship. They both require Lefane and Gaia. It's great times.
Oh, thanks.
Hey. She's not wrong. All right?
Hey, I found temper.
Oh, great.
Good thing we found that power bonk.
We're not using that tonight.
Good thing we found that power bonk. Oh, come on, man.
Hey, the Oxy is fine. There's no key item behind it. It's just a Kraken.
Oh, man.
So that save in the air there, it was in the vain hope that this is not an important item. Unfortunately, it is.
Yeah. I'm hoping that this is...
So the idea of that save is that if whatever is in Lefane is worthless, you can just reset back to your airship.
Maybe I'll do it anyway just to punish myself. Well, that's fine.
There's the chime. All right. Well, you know what the worst case is now.
I do.
So, chat, the worst case. The worst case is that Sky 2 has the rod.
Come on, man.
I have to explain it. I made the reference. I have to explain it. It's the Duck Boot Camp.
No, that was more so directed at the giant with Squint. That wasn't directed at you. I'm sorry if they came out that way. Everything's trying to kill me.
Sky Palace is incentivized. It is the vanilla adamant chest, which is the bottom left corner of Sky 2, the spider floor, if you're familiar.
Yeah.
So what that would mean is, you know how in vanilla you have to go get the ruby and then walk out of Earth so that you can talk to Sarda to get the rod to go back down into Earth? Well, this is the French vanilla version of that, where you have to go down to the vampire floor to get the cube, to then go check floor 2 of Sky to get the rod to finish out Earth Cave.
Yeah.
It would just just perfect.
Chef's kiss to show this one off. Okay. I have half a mind to go and do Waterfall before this, but I'm not.
It's fine.
I know that's going to be my crown most likely into my tail at this point, and I really wanted to be promoted before I came here to give me a better shot at Mr. Kraken, but I mean, that wasn't what we got. Oh my god, there's no money anywhere.
It replaced all the good gold chests and left all the 3s.
It's so bad, right? Is it just me? What is this? So, yeah, Oslato, I am not doing the bubbles this seat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bubbles Soda Company will have to reclaim vengeance on that later.
I'm already too far behind of where I want to be.
Remember what I said earlier, chat, about how for veterans, these flags are 50 to an hour 10?
We're still in that hour 10 vicinity. It's not... Come on.
The dazzle is really the part that gets me on this, but...
Yeah. I'm glad you're all here to share in this, though. This is fun. This is fine.
Yeah, the misery is part of the experience sometimes.
Where's the money, Lebowski? Come on.
Better have my money.
Right? Nice marmot. I'm still checking some free boxes. Free boxes, what we call them, is boxes like right here. Oh, look at that! Pays off. Any box that you see that is along the bottom of a room like this is what we call a free box. This right here is not advanced. Well, as I mismenued, this right here is not advancing the encounter table. I can walk this forever and never take an encounter, nor will I go from step, I don't know, 210 to 211 in the encounter table. So I can open this box with no penalty whatsoever. These are what we call greed checks. This time it paid off with a ribbon.
Now, notably, that rule about not advancing the encounter table also applies to the square in front of a door and the door itself.
Which is why you will see some runners, like, I don't know if you caught when I was walking around in Marsh Cave, walking in front of doorways when I had the opportunity to do that, to path that in. That's kind of just ingrained into what I normally do when I route now.
Yeah. The other thing that's notable is entering or exiting a river tile on the overworld does not advance the encounter table. So sometimes you will see people taking very interesting zigzag routes on rivers, like outside of Crescent Lake or on the way to...
I'm taking this fight, I don't care.
You should take this fight. It's a good fight to take.
Thank you, Barb. I appreciate you reminding me about the ribbon.
Gershark's Quadexable. How rare is that?
Pretty darn. What is going on? Okay.
Well, we're about to face a Kraken and light a second orb, hopefully.
Yeah.
I am choosing to believe.
Yeah, me too.
In an ideal world, where the encounters act as they normally should, Kraken will target slot 1 50% of the time, slot 2 25% of the time, slots 3 and 4 12.5% of the time, respectively. Sometimes that feels like a lie. Kraken in particular has this tendency to target things that wear white. It's the strangest thing. But with the Thief in slot 1, with the full wood evade bonus, it is almost unhittable. Hey, there's your tents.
Yeah.
All the tents landed in floater-locked locations.
Yeah, sure did.
All right, it is time to get a crown and find out if the sadness is going to come true.
I'm really hoping that it's the rod.
Right.
I really am.
The crown turning into the rod would be the best news.
Yeah.
Except for the part where that means that the tail is hiding in sky.
Yeah. So it's okay. We slap the moss on the fighter at that point. We have the ruse stick. We have the power bomb. We'll buy fast on the 2 mages and we'll be fine. But this is...
And life too.
Yeah, and life too. This is not ideal, but it'll work. You know, granted, we have money for these things. Hopefully. Oh, that's a vanilla tile.
Yeah. Sometimes the tiles don't move very far. In this case, it didn't move at all.
Where's the max gold chest, man?
Where's the anything 4 digits or higher gold chest?
This is so bad. I can't even find heal pots.
Sometimes the randomizer has jokes even when you're playing the nicest flags.
Right? Like, these are not supposed to be this combative. You shouldn't be putting up this much of a fight. Stop.
You know, someday I'm gonna reach out to like Life Reboot and I'm gonna say, hey, you should post this for the Async Weekly. And I'm going to have taken an old version of the randomizer with the other version of the XP flag. The one that has been deprecated for good reason.
Yeah.
And throw that out into the world and see what happens. Because that version of the flag This is trivia at this point.
Oh my god, thank you.
Oh, good. The best news.
Yeah, at least there's that.
So, in the original incarnation of the XP chest conversion, it was literally the gold value of the chest.
Mm-hmm.
And in playtesting, I said, yo, this is busted. This is degenerate. Because sometimes you could find the max gold chest and it was converted to XP. And you would suddenly have a level 20 party in before Garland.
Yeah. Instantly.
Or you'd find it and you'd go, oh, it's time to reset and take a black belt and kill everybody else before I open that chest.
Right.
And suddenly you'd have a 30-something black belt.
Alright, we are not opening boxes unless they're in our way now. This seed is already just taking a little too long for my comfort. I will open some, I guess you call them meme checks.
So what does the Asher Trunk have in it tonight? Because the Asher Trunk always pays out.
Yeah.
The chest north here, about like 5 steps out of the way, is the Asher Trunk.
Hey, a wooden stick.
It paid out a wooden stick tonight.
Yeah.
It always pays out, though.
Let's show off the NPC guillotine real quick as well. Where's the next bat? Where are you? Okay, this guy right here. So we talked to him, key, and now he's gone.
Farewell, little bat.
Yay.
So now that we know that we're not getting a tail in this seed.
Not till we want one anyway. Or when we want one.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't get what you want.
Yep.
That means that our XCal will sadly just be a paperweight.
Yeah.
But that will highlight the other thing of very important note. All right. When we are looking at our fighter, and we have a Moss Mute, level 24 is a very important level, because level 24 is our 5th hit with the Masa. Just burn that number into your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Fighter, 24, Masa.
Mm-hmm.
So that is our target before we go terribly deep into Tofu. The Masa is also notably the only weapon in the game where if it has a positive modifier on it, if it has a bonus +1 or greater, the hit value doesn't change. Everything else gets a bonus to hit, but not the Masa, because the Masa is too strong. It can have a penalty hit, though.
It can.
What I found out, funny enough, is there are times where if things line up just right, you can make the Masa on, again, very specific circumstances, you can make the Masa overflow to 256 hit, and then suddenly you have 0 hit. and you can't hit anymore. And it's very sad.
Grabbing some pro rings here for a little bit of extra security on some of the party members. The one with the ribbon really doesn't matter, but I'm buying one anyway. I'm not getting any more chances.
So it's time for a Sky Palace. Raj and Sky plays in full effect. Unfortunately, this thief is now going to do a whole lot of nothing.
Yep.
But we need to take some levels while we're in Sky. Typically speaking, at least.
Yeah, and we're going to have quite a lot of no chance for an overworld grind here in the desert. There's too many steps between the first encounter. I've hard reset, and I'm going in this dungeon to kind of prove my weapon. I should be all the way over by the cube before I take my first encounter.
So, chat, just real quick question. Is it every talking or just me? is hearing about audio issues in the chat.
Oh no.
Okay, it's the full audio. So, I'm sorry, Osludo has Northeast Canadian internet? Okay, so it's Discord being Discord. Okay. Discord being Discord is its own thing, but now it's better.
It happens.
So Luffy's going to take some encounters on the way through Mirage and Sky because we desperately need those levels. And by desperately, I mean not really desperate, but like
Desperate enough. Desperate enough.
We kind of wish the Zombie D was, you know, a funnier tile.
Yeah.
We're going to take it. Okay.
Yeah. I will do a few checks in here. This is a pretty chest-dense location. I'm going to avoid everything on the next floor aside from the incentive box. I'm going to grab that tail just to grab it. I'm hoping one of these has, you know, some XP, which, you know, why would it?
So, question in chat from Ragnarok about what level for the fighter to use the X-Cal to get 5 hits. I believe...
Oh, let me see here.
That it's 29 for vanilla.
It is 29, you are correct.
And you subtract 1 level from the requirement for each plus on the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Hooray, it's the tail we knew about.
Yeah, we have it, just in case we run into a katana plus 5.
I've gotten the verification from Rubes in chat that 29 is indeed the number.
Oh, hey.
It's a Vorpal. Are you going to throw it out the sky window? You can't equip it.
I mean, I was going to maybe promote, but I can throw it out for fun.
Hello, sky window.
Bye.
Bye.
Yay. That hopefully is not a terrible mistake.
Sometimes you can't let your memes be dreams, all right?
Right.
Oh, you had 4 digits of money there. That counted for something.
Yeah, once, right? Okay, if we find Warmac, we are taking that fight. So we're gonna hang on the Bridge of Destiny maybe for just a minute. We're gonna see what these encounters look like. The only correct path is left and up, by the way.
The most contentious topic in the community, right there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's not an ideal fight, but it's fine. Oops.
It's fine. Quad X did its job.
It did. Level 20.
We're getting close.
I don't know if we're gonna quite get there.
This is a good encounter.
This is good, yeah.
We've got the Ice 3 and the Fade to take care of these. They don't do anything to us.
No, fire hydrants, we call these.
Yes.
Take that for what you will. 21. Okay, we're getting there.
So the Bridge of Destiny has a very interesting trait to it, which is that there is an enhanced encounter rate. Hey, there's that Warmac.
There is that Warmac I was talking about, isn't there?
There sure is. I kind of wish that you had the space on the Thief to do anything, but that Wood Adept says no.
Yep. I could have moved the white shirt onto him and got rid of the pro ring. Again, hopefully it doesn't bite me.
That's a hard sell.
Yeah, it is. That's fine.
Did you get fast?
I did, yeah.
So the Warmac is a boss. And
yikes.
Whew,
What a preemptive heal 3 of the gods.
So now we're suddenly worried about that Warmac punching.
We are.
So when that first slot is down, basically it just re-rolls if the first slot would be picked as the target for a single target. And it will just keep doing it until it rolls not the first slot. So we'll see, you know. But it's kind of time to just throw the sink at it and
hope that we stick. Hey!
Hooray! And
Huzzah!
actually the thief going down turns into an advantage because
Best
now the
thing
experience is
ever.
only split 3 ways.
Best part about that was the thief dying.
Yes, the Warmech is a boss. The Warmech is in the same pool of bosses as the Temple of Fiends Revisited, and therefore shares its skills into the pool, and can get spells from the pool.
Oh, gross.
Well, lead off Blaze, you know, it's just we're tracking here.
Nah, we didn't buy Brack or anything, right? Nope. Okay.
Nope.
There was nothing good in this seed.
So, Kit Marcus asking, no nuclear in Topher now? Not necessarily. There are 4 in the pool, and we have seen 1.
Yeah.
So there's 3 more to go around, and we know that Lich has no script, which is a very, very important piece of information. If Lich had a script, then we would potentially be a little bit more concerned. But with the situation being what it is, Lich can only punch, which means, I mean, there could be a touch, I guess?
I suppose.
So are you going to promote?
Nah, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I didn't find anything aside from that Vorpal that you made me throw away.
Oh, you have the Excal.
I did. Yeah, it's fine. The Masa will do the job. This is fine. Famous last words.
I don't know if you can tell, chat, but we've been friends for a while.
We may have done this together once or twice.
This is certainly, yeah.
Yeah, I did say, Ale, you're correct. This was still on track for the 110, as terrible as it's been.
Is this our 3rd boot camp together?
I believe so. I believe so, yeah.
Chat curse can be a thing, Oslodo. It is not quite as prevalent as the caster curse.
Ow.
Chimera, because, you know, you just need to see your friend Jim when you're 2,000 years in the past.
Yeah, Jim and Chim, just hanging out, living their best lives. Stop it. The good news about all the encounters being in this spot is we shouldn't take too many when it really matters on the theme floors. Hopefully.
Famous last words.
Yep.
This is the most obnoxious floor of of design.
Sure is.
So when we get a little further in and we start exploring our other options for Topher, one of them is called mid-Topher, as that is the middle length. This is long Topher, which is vanilla. But the mid-Topher cuts out a lot of this garbage. You just cut across the bottom. So, Lich 2, we know, only punches and has 500 hit points.
Bye.
Carry 2, I believe, was a little bit scarier.
Yeah.
I mean, will be, period. But the key factor to remember in all of these refights is that they have their vanilla hit points and stats. And that means that Carry 2 will have 700 hit points and be susceptible to Amasa. Like, I don't even know how necessary this power gauntlet use is.
Probably not very, but I'm hoping to just get one swing and be done with it.
It'd be nice. There we're seeing that evasion on the thief come into play, which is very helpful.
Oh boy.
Oh, the crit.
There we go.
Yeah, one swing. Good job. 10 hits, over 1,000 damage.
Yep.
Now, it was notable that the bats all said, hey, you know, these guys have weak hits, because 100% is considered weak.
Soft. Oh no. See if your party's better.
This pack had slow and
Dazzle.
Like, who cares?
3 ribbons.
3 ribbons.
I don't like them. They hit hard.
Fair. Okay. This is the worst floor.
Yeah.
While Lich was the obnoxious one because it's a stupid design, this one is actually legitimately terrifying and long and has really horrible encounters. And we're just glad to get out of here.
Oh boy.
Hey, lead off crit. Good job.
We like that quite a bit.
Yep. All right, so with that use of the white shirt, the thief is at full evasion because of the wood adept bonus.
Terrible Quad X.
Good job, Quad X.
At least you tried.
Just after the nick of time, as certain people like to say.
We're okay.
We're fine. Good job, Masa.
Point of order, try to make sure you heal before you take one step, because you are inevitably going to take another one on that floor at some point.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still, even though you didn't get an encounter, you double check to make sure that you were at full before going to T2.
Sure do.
Yeah. Reminder, she has Cure 4.
Yep, she does.
So
hopefully it's fairly early. Tia with the vanilla HP, it should be fine to just attack her whenever. We're going to do an extra bonk here just to make sure. Another stack of evasion just to kind of be a little on the safe side. Inferno's spooky, but we got 3 ribbons, like Saracen said. I'm not too worried.
I am greatly entertained by that throwing out of the Quad X when you were doing very little else.
You never know. You were throwing a few fades. You were throwing a few fades out there.
The fighter's hurt dragon came into play there.
Sure did.
Dale Markin was calling out in chat.
Oh hey, Sparkle Pack.
Yep. Twilight Fan Club.
Yep. Okay, so we should be fine now. Not that we've really taken much in the way of opposition on the way through here, but
I really wanted the replay of that last chance qualifier race that is burned into so many memories and have ambush nuke worms one step from the chaos floor.
Oh dear. Why? Why?
Because it's funny.
That's unfortunate.
All right, tornado, non-elemental damage. It's really painful. It's slightly weaker than nuclear, I think.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit, but that means, you know, you could have a nuclear next, just because.
And that's a very bad time if we do.
Yep.
Fire 3's okay.
Still doesn't take out the Black Mage.
That's cute.
That's the nicest that it could possibly be.
Yeah. Okay, this is okay. We're going to get another heal 3 off before anything super dangerous comes around. Okay, I think we're good on evasion now.
Yep, and at this point in the fight, what you've seen from Luffy is let's get established with our evasion from the white shirt, which casts Invis 2, gives us one of our 6 stacks across every member of the party. We're stabilizing the health with heal 3. We're getting the fighter powered up, you know. We got our DBZ scream going on, and then we swing until it's done. So here we are at 108.08.
Yay!
You did it.
I did it.
Squeaking in under that estimate.
Yeah, and granted, like, we were taking a little bit of time explaining things. Like, we could probably, like, if you want to not chat the way we chatted, lop off about 4 or 5 minutes, you know, minimum of this. But this was rude. Like, I'm not gonna lie. This was not pleasant. The routing was unfortunate. The 4-minute kiss of death of Ice Cave being required, like, I knew it was going to happen, but didn't want to go there. I don't know how much time we would have saved had we gone there first, but at the same time, we would have had to do pretty much everything that we did, and that's what you're going to kind of experience in a flag set, where it's just got 2 pieces of gear with the moss and the ribbon, and those being early, so to speak, from characters. So this was unavoidable full clear at the moment.
Yep. 97 chests checked. That's
not bad.
It's not bad. It's a little high for some people. It's a little low for others. You know, it all depends on how much you want your loot goblin to hang out.
Yeah, 9,000 steps is a pretty good number there. I'd like to be closer to 8,000, but anything under 10 is good, and 9,000 is pretty good. We were definitely opening more chests, trying to, you know, show off some of those free boxes where it paid off a little bit, and trying to find any kind of money or gear, which was just not happening.
So, thoughts about, you know, where we go from here. So tomorrow morning there will be a new Duckling Weekly that will be this flag set, different seed. Feel free to practice on a different seed before you go in. You just hit the new button or generate or whatever. I can look. I have the thing open. New. You click on new next to seed and pick a different one if you wanted to do a practice. What we're really looking at with this first week is get comfortable with picking up a sword and swinging it, because the fighter is very good for that. The fighter is the most basic, fundamental melee that is available to you in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Get comfortable with, how do I get to incentive chests and where are they? Now, if you don't know where the incentive chests are, if you missed it when we were showing them off in the course of this run, next to the incentive location, there is a show help box. It is a question mark box to the right of each location name, and it will show you exactly where the chest is. So, you know, it's okay to look there, you know, look before, look during, whatever. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah. Open book test here early on. Just learn where things are. Take your time.
Yep.
And just kind of have fun. You know, that's the most important thing. Have fun.
Have fun. Absolutely. And if for whatever reason you're feeling like whatever you're doing isn't working, like you're getting stymied by some enemies somewhere, go somewhere else, try something else if it makes sense to do so. Sometimes you will find that you are in a position where you have to be in this location and you just got bad turn order, or you got a bad encounter on the way down and it meant that, you know, you stepped on the marsh spike tile and suddenly you just didn't have the tools to do that. These things happen. We didn't see that out of Luffy tonight because Luffy, you know, 1, had tools, 2, has the expertise to use them. But
question in chat real quick from Barb. Does the 97 checks include inventory you cannot hold? I don't believe so, Saracen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is exactly boxes open, not boxes checked, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
So, getting back to where they're at, if you have an issue in an area, get a couple levels, or, you know, see if there's some tool that you can pick up that is going to help.
Hang on, real quick. Let me show something. Just real quick about levels. I see we still have the stream up. Like, this is a very old trick, and I'm not going to really be able to show much of it here because the encounter is so long. But if you guys remember this spot called the Peninsula of Power, you can still come here and try to take some levels in this little spot right here. It will give you encounters that appear in this stronger zone up here. And we'll get into more about zones and coverages and stuff like that a little bit farther along in the boot camp. But just kind of picture the world as a grid, and the grid that is in this area has monsters appear in this area, just in these 2 tiles above this line that shouldn't. But it's by design, I think, as well. I think the developers kind of did that just as a nice little Easter egg that is still usable now if you should need levels. It doesn't happen all the time, but it can come into play. Like if I couldn't get any money and I had to go and really dig out that bottle, say that was the crown or something that I had to turn in that really needed, I can come here for some money and levels. It is absolutely a viable strategy.
Yep. And there's just a couple of places in the overworld where we focus on overworld encounters. We'll talk a bit more about that throughout the boot camp. But the Peninsula of Power is very easily accessible. It is walkable from Provoca without any other items. So as long as you had a bridge, you can get there.
Yes.
Beyond that, just see what you can do, right?
Yeah.
And take your time as you're going through. Just double check the things that you don't know. Look at numbers if you are comfortable looking at numbers at this point. If you are not comfortable looking at numbers, that's fine. But yeah, that about covers it for tonight, I think.
Yeah, big number, good. Remember that. We said that quite a bit tonight. Just remember that early on. We'll get into negatives and malices and some more advanced stuff later. Right now, we took the vanilla game, we made a little bit randomness to it, and we gave you some overpowered equipment. So just have some fun doing that.
So from the standpoint of this week, we also will have weekly races, Mondays and Thursday nights. So the day after we have our reveal streams, like tonight. So tomorrow night we will have a race of these flags, and come hang out. There will be a ping when we have those, and I believe those are going to be 9 p.m. as well. 9 p.m. Eastern. We always talk in Eastern time here. But 9 p.m. we will have a race. That means that about 8:15 there will be a ping out in the race organization channel or race announcements, one of the two.
Yeah.
With a link to racetime.gg so that you can join in on the race. If you don't have a Racetime account yet, it's free. It's very easy to sign up. I think it takes name, email, and password, and that's it. It uses your email to log in. And we use that for all of our tournaments. So that's important to know. If you plan to compete, if you want to learn how to do this well enough to compete, if you want to take part in the Duck Derby at the end of this, you have to have a Racetime account.
Yeah, it's very easy to set up. We use it for, like Sarah said, pretty much everything, aside from some very specific niche things in different tournaments that we have. But it's really easy to set up, and it's pretty user friendly, simple clicks and all that. Doesn't take much effort, and you're going to need it if you want. So, but if you don't want it, also fine, but can be useful.
The other thing to keep in mind is don't feel pressured to race if you don't want to race. If you want to watch a stream where we have several people racing and you can see, I think we limit it to 2 for these races, 2 people on the restream, just so that it's not overwhelming. But you can watch and see how more veteran runners are racing these flags, see how the community, goes about their business on these races, and just learn from that if that's what you're more comfortable with. If you want to get in on the races and you want to learn how to get over the adrenaline of the race, because man, it can be a harrowing experience the first couple times you race.
Sure can.
I recommend just diving in, and it doesn't matter if you finish last, if you don't finish, whatever. We're racing to have fun here, and you can see what it's all about. You can get used to it. If you are going to compete in the Derby, and I highly recommend all of our ducks compete in the Derby, I strongly recommend that you get in on at least 2 of these races just to get over that feeling when you get to the end of the seed and your heart starts pumping. And your hands get sweaty and clammy at the same time, and like all those feelings that happen when you get to the end of the race and you're just trying to figure out where you're going to land in the race room. It's
menuing is very easy until it comes to the end and you're looking at the race room and nobody's done yet and you're on tier 2.
It all falls apart.
Get those jitters out now and have a little bit of fun doing it.
Every bit of practice in races will help you get over those nerves just a little faster.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, as somebody who has competed for, at this point, 3 years, almost 3.5 soon, that I still get those feelings.
Yeah. 100%.
Our next reveal stream will be Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and I believe that is also going to be right here on RPG Limit Break. So keep that in mind as well. So Wednesday night, we will have our next reveal stream. That is going to be the Thief Week.
Yeah, fun stuff there.
It's a good time. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
I will be running that one. And you will find out that sometimes Luffy and I run things a little differently. And it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
So Luffy, do you have any other thoughts to throw out there?
I do not. I appreciate you guys sticking around and bearing with me there. That seed was complex at times. It was a little annoying, but we made it through together and we did all right. Thank you, Saracen, for keeping in my ear and keeping me straight, and Osloda for the restream, and RPG Limit Break for letting us borrow the channel and show off this great game. Join the Discord. This is week 1, so you got lots of time to get ready for the Derby if you want to do that, or just kind of hang out and learn during the boot camp. A lot of us started this way. So Saracen and I did. We just enjoy giving back and having fun doing it. So come hang out with us. It's a good time.
Absolutely. Definitely join the Discord. Grab the Duckling roll from the Roll Request channel. That will make sure that you get the pings when we have these streams go live and when we have weeklies go out for the Duckling Weekly. Also, to supplement the Wednesday reveals, the Thursday async weeklies will be the Wednesday night flags. So, for the duration of the boot camp, you can expect to have practices of everything that we cover. And if you have questions, we have the New Player Duck Pond, we have the Duck Boot Camp channel. Just ask. We are all happy to help. It turns out that everybody's nice here because the game isn't.
That's right.
But I think with that, we're rolling on 2 hours and change of live time. It's probably time to let you all go to bed.
Yeah.
It's getting late for our
everybody. Appreciate it.
So GG Luffy, thank you Oslodo for the restream. Thank you everybody for coming out, and thank you RPG Limit Break for being the place to host us tonight. And we will see you all very soon.